Gotta get that stretch in, man. That's important. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Retro Hoop Collectibles. Man, record-setting. I mean, everybody knows by now what the deal is. Record-setting heritage auctions. We'll pop it up right here. 12.6 million. I'm trying to figure out. It was a busy weekend for me, so I didn't get an opportunity to watch it at the last minute. I really don't know. I really don't know what all went into it. Let's see if we can view the lot. $12.6 million sale of the 1952 Topps number 311 Mickey Mantle, the Rosen find, the finest known example. And as of right now, the highest selling sports card ever, $12.6 million, which includes buyer's premium and all that stuff. Here's the thing. What does all this mean, right? You guys know that I have a personal preference. I prefer SGC when it comes to grading my cards, and that is my grading company of choice. Okay, it's just me. It doesn't make me wrong, doesn't make me right, it doesn't make anything. Okay, but there are a couple of markers that we can look at to kind of gauge over time the hobby's preference as a whole. And there's a bunch of things that you can look at, right? You can look at the same card in, relatively the same grade, because, grading from one company to the next is subjective. Grading itself is such a subjective art form. I dare not call it a science. I mean, there's a couple of things that are pretty finite, right? Centering being one of them, corners being another. But that even that, whenever you take them into consideration as a whole, they can be somewhat subjective. Look, the fact of the matter is that you guys know my stance. I love SGC for a myriad of reasons, all of which I've explained through dozens of videos that you guys have watched on this channel. I dislike PSA, not as a service as a whole, not as like their offering. I just don't like them as a organization. I really don't like the way that they handled this whole thing with the backlogs and all that stuff. I just don't really, I don't know. They just never sat right with me. The one time that I tried them, I got burned. And it was just a pain, complete pain. My first experience with them was a horrible experience, and that may not be the case for a lot of you. I just got into grading a couple of years ago. Many of you have been grading with them since the early 90s, and you guys have a great track record with them. They have won you over as a customer, as a loyal customer, and that's fine. But here's the thing. This gentleman here who had this card, it was raw. It was a raw card. And that gentleman, I really don't know the details of it, to be honest with you, but it doesn't matter, had a decision to make, right? Had a decision to make as to where he was going to take what is considered to be the most iconic sports card in the history of sports cards, and take the best example of the best, of the most iconic sports card, and decide what company he was going to take it to be graded. He, I'm sure, had to take several factors into consideration, many of which have financial and monetary implications. I mean, he had to think about a lot, this person. And at the end of the day, that person, right, wrong, or indifferent, decided that he was going to take his card to SGC and have it graded. Now, it may come out later on or whatever that how he came to that decision, who knows? But that person chose to take it to SGC, and that says a lot. That says a lot about SGC as a company. And I really think that having, even before this, I think the card that was before this was the T206, which was the previous highest graded baseball card or most expensive ever sold, was also in an SGC case. So the last two cards, I think, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you will, especially if the previous card was a PSA. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But the last two record sales were both in SGC slabs. And that says a lot, okay? That says a lot. Because I really think that, and it may be a vintage thing, but we all know that when it comes to the vintage stuff, SGC is king. That is where they, that was their bread and butter for a long time. They just got into the modern space not too long ago. It hasn't been a very long time. So I really think that this card in this slab, graded by SGC in a phenomenal grade, it's a great looking card. It is what it is. Deserves that $12.6 million. I really wanted to see, because it was stuck like on 8 million for a while, and then I want to know what the hammer price was. I didn't get an opportunity to look at it, but yeah. At any rate, I mean, it's a great look for SGC as a company. It really is. It really is. I want to know what the hammer price was. So it's 20%. So what would that have been? 12.6 minus 20%. Okay, 10,080,000 is what it would have hammered for. $10,080,000 is what this would have hammered for. I mean, look, once again, you guys know my preference, right? Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm right or that I'm wrong. But all I'm saying is that the guy who had one of the most iconic sports cards in the history of sports cards, in what was known to be the greatest, like the finest example known, when it came time for that guy to grade his card, he decided to go to SGC. And that says a lot, in my opinion. That says everything. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I know you guys are going to get pretty opinionated on this one, which I always enjoy. And I'll jump in the comments as well and kind of interact with y'all, because I got a feeling that even though I'm not meaning for this to be a knock on PSA, I'm more, talking good about SGC. I still got a feeling that PSA guys are going to come out of the woodworks, which is always hilarious. But anyway, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you're joining me for the first time, please hit the subscribe button. Would always appreciate that. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next video. Love y'all. Peace.